was a very lucky young poet. I was 23 years old, and I got hired as the assistant director of a major poetry center in America, the Robert Frost Place. And my life was really the most full life a young poet could have. James Merrill, Billy Collins, when he was a very young poet, Sherrod Santos, Donald Hall. I can't tell you how many of those people were part of my life and what they did to me to shape me as a poet, though I really never got my voice till 8 years later when I moved to Ireland. And that's a kind of a funny irony of it. Although I had some publication, there wasn't the strength that I found when I came to Ireland. No, I had the most crazy kind of coming. I came over to do a PhD at UCD in contemporary Irish literature. And my husband, who had been in residence at the Frost Place, I got off the plane and James Simmons, and he was being interviewed on Hanley's People. And David asked him, you know, you have left your wife, and would you ever remarry? Is there anybody you think of? And he said, well, I'm wearing the jumper of the girl I think of all the time. Her sister knit it for her. And he said, I would like to see her again. So I was in a bedsit. Do you remember the old coin TVs? Yeah. And I put in the coin to watch the show. As soon as I heard that was my coin done, I bought a bottle of Dutch courage and rang my husband. And he said, I said, would you like to meet for tea at Bewleys? And he said, no, I would like you to get on the train to Belfast. And basically that was it. So that was really the beginning of my voice, and the wonderful time that I had over all the years, including starting the first MA in creative writing in Ireland in 1993. So it's been amazing, and I've been privileged, like at the Frost Place, to meet all of the Irish poets and to have them in my house, and to graduate 62 students, 31 or 32 now, who have first books. So, you know, Ireland's a great place. I'm all for it. So I'm going to start with this poem, Leaving America. A child's question, who am I? A new self in the old world. I'm changed. The arm of a wild Atlantic still before me. Does it matter which, Bar Harbour or the mouth of Belfast Lough? Seals sometimes come into harbour, and occasional letters from home. The seals, I imagine, are messengers from Maine. They rise from the water, their funny heads tilting sideways like dogs listening. They say, Cape Porpoise is full of tourists, you don't miss it. And I can imagine the Shetlands out there, otters in the blue inlets that glow with afternoon light. If I close my eyes, I can see further the fjords of northern Europe, mountains and midnight sun. Our house looks eastward. The final vision is always our snowy bed, the high grazing fields above us, the water, rock, and harbor wall below. I'm home and dry. This is an island, her people calling out to sea. All other lands are imagined, all other peoples. These boundaries are defined by nature. My urge to move west has left me. Maybe I'll never see California. Lately, I'm hesitant to leave my home, to leave Portmuck for Belfast. My gardens are beautiful in the spring sun, gold and green and full of birds whose songs I'm still learning. I'm leaving America. This is more difficult than I imagined. First there was poetry and then love. They came easy. At the beach I can just hear, rising from the voice of water, muffled as the sound inside a shell, the chant of the Arapaho or New England's native Algonquins. Sometimes they sing louder and sound better from this distance than all the old songs of the Irish. I recite out loud the Indian place names I remember: Wampanoag Trail, Lake Winnipesaukee, Squam, Chachapacasset. They tell of familiar earth, of forest before plain, colder winters, hotter summers, extremities. All choices made and no regrets. Here is the Atlantic before me, the same big shining sea. Yep.